Hi everyone, and today I'll be reading a Scaramouche Listener by me. So let's get into it. Scaramouche wasn't someone who would classify himself as kind. If anything, he was ruthless most of the time. He was not the best of men or humans, but he tried, and being with you made him want to try more. He was doing his best and he would continue in doing so, and hopefully be a better him, a new him, in a sort of way. But even he had his limits. With his ruthlessness and everything, there were some things that were far too upsetting and disgusting to do. There were those whom deserved to be hurt. Then there were the weak, the sick, and the children. It was cowardly to hurt them, and it did not prove anything in the face of, well, whatever ideology he was trying to prove and whatever he was trying to tell himself. During that time, anyway. And now that he has changed, he looks even more down upon those acts of hurting those who he didn't need to. But there was something that annoyed him even more, and it was those whom he loved getting hurt. Maybe you were not being physically hurt, at least not anymore, but emotionally so. And that was something. It was far deeper than any kind of physical pain. He knew that kind of pain very well, though in a different way. Being abandoned, feeling unloved and unwanted. It was something that could shatter the soul. And Scaramouche, well, for him, it had ruined him. It had ruined his life for hundreds of years. When the Shogun decided he was of no use to her. So imagine him hearing about your deadbeat father. It was no good news to him, and it made him angry, beyond angry. You had had to hold him that day, to tell him that you had just moved past it. You were fine now, much older and away from that man. There was nothing that could bother you. No relationship to miss, anyway. But even then, he was angry. How could someone just abandon you like that? And the fact that even with the time that he was around, he didn't do much? Wow. Way to go. Being useless and a loser. Scaramouche hugged you then, kissing your cheek. You've got me now, Ion. I'm sorry you had someone like him. Someone who's so disgusting like that. But I got you, and I promise, no matter what happens, I'll always be there. No matter what you do or what happens with both of us, I love you, and nothing in the world will make that go away. He was just like that, unconditional, ever loving, and ever loyal to you. It melted your heart. It made you feel like you always had someone to go back to. And though you knew you were lovers, you had heard about lovers leaving each other during those difficult times time and time again. But you knew Scaramouche was not like that. He was different. And when he loved, he gave it his all. You trusted him. Little did you know, a year later into a relationship, you would just happen to meet your deadbeat dad, knocking down at your door in the middle of winter. Scaramouche looked to see who was outside. And then, since you didn't know him, he looked for you. Why on? Do you know that guy? He asks. And then you're staring for a couple moments before bitterly you find yourself letting your father in. Scaramouche takes you aside to ask what's going on, but then you tell him that it's your father, and he's this close to kicking him out when you just tell him to shut up for a moment and you will deal with it. And he trusts you, so he stays quiet, watchful, and careful of what's going to go. Oh, thank you, dear, your father said, drawling it out as he sat down on the couch. I lost my home. They haven't paid my rent for a while now. And you seem to have a good place here, so maybe I could stay with you. At least until I get my life together and everything, he said, tried to give you a smile. I know I wasn't as good of a father as I could have been, but we're still family, right? He says, and you find yourself just clenching your fists. You don't know what to say to it. You don't know how to react. Still a family? Is that what you think? You know, after you left me with my mom when I was 5 and never asked a thing about me. I only knew you from your picture. Oh, wait. I remember now. You saw me once when I was 10 too? Or was it a couple years later? I don't know the last time I saw you. I don't remember when it was. Don't be better like your mother, come on. You know I need this, your father says. And that's when Scaramouche has finally had it. He's sick of this man already. He hasn't seen you for years, hasn't done shit for you, and all he does is now come in with the audacity to ask you to keep him here. For free. Well, seeing his face is enough to actually put up with, let alone keeping him here in your house and feeding him. Out, Scaramouche says, glaring. Wyan, who is that man? Your father asks, but you don't respond, watching them closely. At one point, you felt like you didn't want to fight back. You just wanted him out. It hurts you, seeing him in your house, and seeing how he didn't care about you and was still the same selfish man he was all those years ago. You had better be out right now, or I swear to God I will hurt you. Scaramouche threatened, and grabbed him by the arm, dragging him outside. I don't want to see you near Wyan ever again. Not talking to her or looking at her. You're not her father anymore. You hurt her. And from the looks of it, you still are. You haven't even thought to ask about how she was doing. You're only thinking of yourself. What a shame. Some people like you, they're just a waste of air. Go, he yells. And your father stares for a couple moments, but Scaramouche's intimidating glare and strength alone is enough to intimidate him to run off. And Scaramouche locks the door and closes it, wrapping his arms around you and stroking your hair. He doesn't ask for you to say anything. He doesn't wait for a response. He just sits by you and comforts you, knowing that that alone, with the meeting with your father and all, it was rough, and you just needed some time to be able to process what happened and tell him what you wanted from there. And for the time being, he would be here, for you, holding you and loving you all the time you needed.